Today we're taking a look at 3 new projects. So we have the fiber one, the goo, and honey. So we already saw a couple of projects where I used the mesh decimation and the wireframe modifier in Blender. I wanted to get back at this kind of setup and work a little bit more with noise and try to find some new configuration for this kind of workflow. And as you can see, this is kind of the design that I was able to come up with. So this is a simple grid with or noise displacement. I think I used the wave somewhere here. I used the wave texture, but yeah. So as you can see, the first one, I'm a little bit bummed out because I should have rendered it a little bit more. I should have added some more sample, because the denoise, the thing is with subsurface scattering is that you need a lot of sample to be able to rendering properly, and the denoiser is just adding this a lot of artifact in the render. I love this one, the green one. I wasn't sure about adding this one into the series because they look a little bit similar, but I've used another type of noise here, I think, and I just love the color, right? It just came out really nice. I did some color correction here to add some orange into the shadows, so yeah. And the third one is, I mean, yeah, it looks nice, kind of a honeycomb vibe to it. I've played around with the offset in the decimation. So yeah, let's get inside of the first project, which is the fiber one. And here we are. So I'm gonna show you a little bit the object, right? So this is what we have. And the setup is fairly easy. We have our camera and 2 lights with the empty. So now I'm finally using the empties properly to be able to just, move my lights around the object. So this is kind of the lighting setup that I have. Let's get back in the camera. For some reason, those files don't have the cavity enabled, but I'm just gonna add it. Right, so let's get inside our plane and see what we have. So as you can see, a very simple setup. We have our grid with 100 vertices on the x-axis and 20 in the y-axis. Set position to kind of displace our plane. So combine XYZ on the Z. Scale to be able to scale this up and down. A color ramp to control the noise, black and white, the contrast, and or Voronoi. We've already been through the setup. This is kind of the easiest setup that you can make when you want to display something. And yeah, that's pretty much what I came up with. So there's a couple of issues right here. As you can see, the mesh is getting intersected with the wireframe. So yeah, I pretty much played around positioning to be able to not have this intersection. But after that, we have a set smooth and a material, which is our material. So I'm going to get into that soon. But I wanted to show you the decimate option. So as you can see, so let's close this up. In the decimate, we have the method is unsubdivide, and I added an iteration of 7. So I think if we go back to, yeah, so there's a lot happening here. So unsubdivide, and this is what we have. Let's take off the wireframe and the subdivision, kind of show you to show you the wireframe. Yeah, so this is the wireframe that we have, right? Unsubdivide. I think after 7, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't unsubdivide further. So yeah, just have that in mind. And now I'm going to add my wireframe. So as you can see, this is the wireframe, and I decided to keep the original. So in the other one with the bodies, I was using this to replace the original, to not have this double layered mesh. But in this one, I decided to keep it. And I'm going to add again the subdivision. So this is what we have, and I need to take off this. This is what we have now, and the nice thing is that you can actually play with the offset to kind of offset the wireframe mesh on top of it, and it goes to 1, but if you type in something more, it will just add it. This is how you can take care of the two mesh colliding. So now, as you can see, it's pretty good. Usually, I think the offset is set to 0. So let's see what 0 gives us. So yeah, we have some intersection here. I think we can fix that if we go to our ramp here. So let's see if we can fix it without the offset. Yeah, but we lose a lot of our displacement. So you know what? I'm gonna take it a little bit further, like this. And now I'm going to go back to my offset and try to fix this. And yeah, this looks pretty nice, right? So we fixed a lot of the issues. And after that, we have the subdivision set to 4 and 4. You can go higher, I think, because we don't have a lot of polygons here either way. I'm not sure how to show the amount of polygon in my scene, but yeah, it's running pretty smoothly. And let's go back to our camera. I'm gonna press render, and oh, this looks nice. Let's go to the shader editor and see at the shader. So as you can see, it's a principal BSDF. We have a little bit of roughness. The IO 2.4. We have the subsurface. So in this case, I'm using the first one, and yeah, this is the kind of default setting. And you can play around with the scale to have more subsurface. So if you put this to like 5, this is looking nice. And after that, you know, of course, you will have to play around with your light. So in this case, I have some light that is showing down below. And let's try and rotate this. Oh yeah, this looks nice. Actually, this is better than the first render that I had. So, you know, yeah, you need to play around with the lighting and try to find something that looks nice, right? We have a decimation or mesh. And so keep in mind that in this case, I used the, let's go to our geometry node, the Voronoi texture set to F1. So yeah, close it up and let's open up the second one, which is the goo. And in the goo, you can already tell that another noise has been used because we have this kind of weird displacement here, you know. So let's go straight to the plane geometry shader. And as you can see, yeah, we have the wave texture. And I just love the wave texture. I'm using it more and more in my geometry node system. So let's change things around. Oh, this is nice. I love the way this looks. The grid is again 100 vertices on X and 10 on Y. This is why I think we have this kind of elongated, kind of strained here on the sides. And yeah, so the scene is exactly the same. Let's try with one light again. I want the small one. I want to rotate this kind of off top of it. Oh man, this is nice. Yeah, you know, the thing with subsurface is that you really need to play around with your lighting to find something that really makes your model looks good. So I'm gonna try to rotate this one, or maybe not, you know. I think this is okay. Let's take a look at the shader editor. So in the shader, something that I added was, I think I wanted to create a gradient, but I left it as a base color. So yeah, the subsurface is the same. And here I added the scale to 10. This is how I was able to create this kind of greenish. I think my lights don't have any color on them. Yeah, no, it's white. So yeah, pretty nice. This one, I had to bump up the max sample. So I put 2048 here to have a nice and crispy render. Right, let's take a look at the third one, which is Honey. Let's go straight to the geometry node editor. And as you can see, we can already see the changes. So vertices X 40 and vertices Y 8. So this is what we kind of get. Let's take, yeah, so this is what we have. And as a noise, I used this magic texture. So I have no idea what this does, but I think it's a simple pattern that you can scale up and down. I'm not really sure, but this looks really nice. And the distortion. I mean, even animated, this looks nice, right? And I might actually use this in another series. But yeah, the magic texture. Let's go to our texture shader. As you can see, the same. This time I added 1 here, 0.1 and 20 in the scale to really have this subsurface. This is nice. And as you can see, inside of our modifier in the wireframe, I added even more offset. I love working with very small setups like that and be able to create this kind of very colorful and render that pop. That's it for the GUI series. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.